Standing in the way of life. No, babes. America is a third world country. America is a third world country. I've been back for 3 months.
So this is my new channel.
We're living paycheck to paycheck. We are literally paying just to survive.
I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills.
Somebody had drilled a hole into his gas tank and stolen the gas. So, desperate times.
It's about the fall of white America, okay? White men, human trafficked black people from Africa, made banks and wealth off this country, made banks, wealth, and institutions off of that, and they're the only people that can afford, you know, stuff in this country. If you ran a race for 500 years and each lap was 1 year, that's 500 years of basically each time, like on Monopoly, 200 you pass go, they up on us, you know, and they owe us reparations, you know, because we the ones that built the track, okay?
A lot of Americans are starting to notice something very uncomfortable that they can't avoid anymore, and that's the fact that this country no longer looks like the America that they believed in growing up.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick.
We were sold a lie. We were told that if we go to college, we get a better education, and we just work really hard, we could have the American dream. That's just not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore. I did that. I got a better education. I got a job that's supposed to be good. I worked hard. And honestly, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life. And I'm probably the brokest I've ever been. Inflation is out of control. Inflation is the problem. Our wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. Gas is $5 a gallon. Rent is astronomical. Forget buying a house. It's not possible. Groceries, take out a loan. Take out a loan if you want to buy groceries on a monthly basis. And I have a child, so I have to buy groceries on almost a weekly basis, if not, maybe every 2 weeks. It's just bullshit. We can't keep doing things the way that our parents, our grandparents did things. We have to change something. Something has to change.
It's really funny how now the media is saying that the average American is running out of money. It's like, oh, really? Is that new news? You know, that people are running out of money? I mean, people have been running out of money for a very long time. That's why credit card debt is at record highs. And yeah, there's a lot of people that don't manage their money well, but a lot of people are using it out of desperation because people are at the point of, you know, do I pay this bill or do we eat this week?
Do this for the rest of my life. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills, going into a job where I work my ass off all day to barely be able to pay my bills. It just is not it.
All right, Springfield, Missouri. Recession indicator. My husband works at Paul Mueller here in town, and when he left today, somebody had drilled a hole into his gas tank and stolen the gas. So, desperate times.
How is everyone affording life? Real question. How are you guys doing it? Because my daycare costs the same as our mortgage, which is just wild to me. And I had a crash out earlier today just about how really expensive everything really truly is. And I just don't know how you guys are doing it. So I have a corporate 6-figure job. I should be able to afford life. We're not doing anything wrong. Just life is expensive. And I'm the breadwinner in my household. There's this constant stress hanging over my head all the time of you got to make more to provide for your family, especially in this day and age. And it's wild because at the same time, I'm stuck in these corporate handcuffs and I am going through burnout. I don't want to continue doing this. I have the mental load, hanging over my head. I'm trying to be a good mom, let alone a good wife, daughter, sister, friend, which I'm feeling at all of those things, I feel like. And if you have any tips or tricks of how you're getting through, would love to connect on them because hang in there. Have a good day.
I'm going to tell you, if you just go to the grocery store, now that school's out, walk around and just watch. Your heart's going to break. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Mine has. Because, hold it together, Jamie. I am walking around Walmart right now, picking up a few groceries that I'm blessed to be able to buy, like so many of you. I have also been at a point in my life where I was not able to buy the things that I needed at home for my children. And right now, I'm walking around watching families with 3 and 4 kids say, no, you can't get that, put it back. They're literally buying bread, peanut butter jelly, ham. That's what one family just bought, and cheese. That was going to be their meal. There was no extras. They said these people that their kids are out of school now, this is just one more added stress about how they're supposed to feed them. And you can say whatever you want. Well, they shouldn't have had kids or whatever. What the fuck are you? Don't even say that on this post, because I'll block you and delete your comment. You do realize that right now groceries are so high that I don't even care if you've got 1 child or 2 kids. It's hard to afford to even buy groceries right now for a lot of people. And then you add 2 or 3 kids, school's out, gas is almost freaking $5 a gallon. I'm telling you, you want to be humbled? You want to be humbled? Go to the grocery store and watch. Watch these. Watch. Just watch. I think I'm gonna start picking up gift cards, even if it's $10, 3, 4, 5 of them in my wallet. And if I have to give somebody one, then I have to give somebody one. $10 might be just what somebody needs. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm sure it could help somebody. I know it could have helped this family that I just saw. I had to walk away. My nose is still pouring, got tears rolling down my face. I had to get myself together in Walmart.
You want more stay-at-home moms? Then why are you making it so hard for us to be home? Why is the economy so bad? Because for me, yes, I drive a nice car, but when do I have to stop giving up things that I like? Like, this was the first time I said I'm not settling for less just because I'm a stay-at-home mom. We already don't take vacations. We already don't go out to eat. We already have to do all the free things around us, meaning free options at the zoo, free things at the park, free play dates. We have to utilize what we have, but I shouldn't have to do that as a stay-at-home mom. You want to produce more stay-at-home moms. You want, oh, we love moms so much. Being a mom is so amazing. And we love moms being home with their babies. Then why are you making it so difficult for moms to be home? Why is every single mom out here working? Oh, it makes me so mad. Every single stay-at-home mom right now is struggling, and they're on here trying to make any side hustle they possibly can because it's so bad. The groceries are so expensive. Everything is so expensive, and I'm tired of being quiet about it. I'm tired of pretending that it's okay. I'm so tired of it. Like, I know I make my life look glamorous and amazing, but I'm really good at that because at the end of the day, I have lived through struggles and I know how to make poor look good. Like, I just do. It doesn't mean it's any easier. It doesn't mean it's any funner. Like, it sucks. Our economy sucks.
Went to the grocery store for 3 things: eggs, milk, and bread. And my bill was almost $30. It's insane. It's insane. My mortgage is almost $3,000. My car payment is $680. My HELOC is $600. It cost me $80 to fill up my gas tank and $300 in groceries. And then we have medical bills that we have to catch up on. My electric bill is almost $400. My gas bill is almost $200. My internet is about $50. And we're supposed to survive how? My husband makes really good money, but we're living paycheck to paycheck. We are literally paying just to survive because we had triplets and have never been able to catch up. Trying to work from home, barely making any money at all, but I'm busting my butt to do that. I get free products sent to my house every single day, but I'm not making money from that. It's a free product. So it looks like I'm making a lot of money, but I'm not. I work for Amazon, Sam's Club, Walmart. I work on Venable, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, TikTok, and I'm barely making any money. I can barely keep my head above water. I feel like I'm drowning all the time. Why is America like this? It doesn't make any sense. Our family has 6, and we're barely surviving. And if I went back to work, I start to think of all the things that need to get done around the house. The laundry, the cleaning, the landscaping, the cooking, the home repairs that are piling up that I'm trying to catch up on because it's spring and I'm now seeing it even more. And all the other things that have to get done. I don't know how I can go back to work and do all that and take care of my kids and be present for them when they're still young. And I'm not saying all of this or any of this to make anyone feel bad for me. I'm actually just really asking, how are we all surviving?
A 137.5% price increase. That is how much the price of my laundry detergent went up from the end of March till now, the end of May. Don't believe me? Here are the receipts. Here's the one I bought end of March. You can see March 29, 2026. Price is $15.97. Woolite Dark Defense. Even though it says sold by Amazon.com, I bought it from the Woolite store. When I click back on it, this is the one that I bought. 100 fluid ounces Dark Defense Woolite. Okay, from the Woolite store. Same one, maybe a new look on the face. Looks more French to me. 2.96 liters is the same as 100 fluid ounces. Price is $38.99. I will not be buying that. I don't care if you have added gold to your laundry detergent Woolite. I will not be buying it at that price.
We're in a depression right now, but the only reason why it's not called that is because the wealthy people are wealthier than they've ever been. It's not a depression for the rich people. They're doing fantastic. During the Great Depression, the average cost of a home was about $4,900, which today is about $90,000. That was about 3 times the average person's wages. 2026, today, the average cost is about $410,000, which is about 8 times the average person's wages. This is not accidental, and this is not just inflation. It is deliberate overpricing by wealthy people to put more profit into their pockets. And this is working really well for them. Back in 1985, there were about 9 billionaires in the US, and now we have over 1,000. And we're even on track to get our first trillionaire. Can you even imagine? Can you even fathom how much money that is? Thing is, you can't. So let's put it this way. If you counted one number every single second, it would take you 31 years to count to 1 billion. To count to 1 trillion, it would take you 31,000 years. Meanwhile, the average American makes $66,000 a year. 1 in 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and it costs about $159K a year to live comfortably. Believe you me, we are in a depression. It's just not called that because we don't control the narrative.
We are expeditiously close to the point where we will see the rate of change of inflation supersede the average growth in wages. Now, the jobs report and the jobs report numbers, including unemployment, usually come out on the first Friday of the month. But one of the, I think, more overlooked things about jobs report numbers is the fact that we measure and report on how much wages are increasing. And if we look at the report that was released on Friday from April of 2026, we find that average real weekly earnings for US employees rose by about 3.6% year over year, which in a vacuum sounds great, right? Our wages are generally increasing, except it's very important, as this creator mentions, to look at that in the context of how much inflation has been increasing. Now, we actually have 2 metrics in economics about how we choose to measure inflation. We can use either the CPI or the PCE. Each of those measure different things, and they're good for different things that I'm happy to talk about in another video. But if we look at those 2 inflation metrics, what we find is that for the CPI, that has been increasing by about 3.3% year over year. And the PCE was found in March of 2026 to increase by about 3.5% year over year. As you can see, 3.6% the amount that our wages have been increasing year over year, and 3.3 to 3.5%, which is how much inflation has been increasing year over year, is getting very close to that crossover point. And when that crossover point happens, there are a lot of concerns that economists have, both in the short run as well as in the long run. Now, in the immediate short run, what happens when inflation is superseding wage growth? It means that consumers have reduced purchasing power, right? They are not able to maintain the cost of living that they once did if the prices of the goods they used to be able to afford are becoming more and more out of reach because their wages aren't keeping up. This can lead to something known as the wage price spiral, which we worry about in economics. Essentially, what it means is that consumers, seeing decreases to their purchasing power, demand higher wages in order to keep up with those costs, which then lead companies to then increase prices further, which can exacerbate inflation if not kept under control. Another thing we worry about when this happens is increasing consumer debt, right? People taking money out of their savings in order to maintain the same living standards that they did before inflation superseded wage growth. As I've talked about in other videos, we are already seeing signs that this is happening with people having rising credit card debt. In fact, the amount of credit card debt defaults that we've seen in the last year is reaching the same level that it did in 2008. Now, I've said this before, but inflation in and of itself, if it is controlled, is not inherently a bad thing if wages are able to keep up with it. The major concern we have as economists is what we are potentially seeing in the next several months, where there is a decline in the purchasing power of consumers, which would negatively affect economic growth. Unfortunately, until we are able to have a government or an administration that is able to acknowledge that this is a problem and is taking steps to address it, we are kind of in this position where we have to wait and see what ends up happening here. That is my suggestion as an economist. As my suggestion as a human being, I would take efforts to invest in your community, to invest in yourselves, to reach out and ask for help. I can only hope that videos like this help raise awareness about the economic reality we are living, as well as influence you to take steps to urge your people in government to do something, because they ultimately have the power to influence economic policy one way or the other. And for now, that's all.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you can panic all you want, but everybody ain't got no money. Mostly everybody is broke, everybody is penny pinching, and everybody is robbing Peter to pay Paul. The budget has been budgeted. I done budgeted it all out. I done managed all I could do. I done cut back all I can cut back, and I still ain't got no money. It is what it is.
Data is screaming people are broke, but nobody's paying attention. Bank of America just came out. They study debit transactions and credit card transactions of millions of people throughout the nation, and they're saying the pullback on spending outside necessities, they've never seen that. We heard Domino's Pizza say the consumer doesn't even want our $7 carryout pizza, which is technically one of the cheapest methods of fast food right now. You can get a whole pizza for $7. McDonald's has just come out and said consumer spending is still declining. People are not spending money like they should be. The economy, the administration, everybody's like, the economy is fine. But the underlyings of the economy, people are not fine. People are tight. The cost or increase of gas, increase of groceries, everything's increased. Corporate America's like profit, profit, profit. And the consumer's like, we can't no more.
Guys, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being punished by the auto repair shop gods or something. Something's not right about the way things are right now, and I genuinely don't know what to do about it. So I don't know why. I don't know what it is about maybe my branding or the things that I don't know, post, and we've been posting to get brake jobs and stuff, but I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get customers in here for anything other than transmission work. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. On top of that, the work that we are getting, we've completely slowed down. Ever since gas prices went up, we've died. So we're kind of struggling right now to pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? Because like getting cars in here and getting work done has been extremely difficult and very slow and painstaking at this point. So I've been advertising, I've been making videos, I've been making estimates. We have a lot of estimates. I have 70 estimates in my computer right now, and nobody is biting, and I don't know what it is. And we're offering discounts, you know, we're advertising for brake and air conditioning repairs. I don't know what else I can do. I genuinely do not, besides going outside and throwing a brick at somebody's car and telling them that we can fix it here. I don't know what else we can do. Am I the only shop owner right now that's having this issue? Are there other shops that are slow right now? I've seen a couple of places here local that look like they were a little slow, but like there are a lot of places that are still looking pretty busy. I mean, I think we've got about 7 cars here, which is very, very slow. We're usually at about 15 or 20 cars. Let me know, guys, in the comment section. Are you guys slow? What's happening? What are you doing to mitigate being slow?
How funny would it be if we just like collapsed, like right now? Let's raise the price of everything. Housing prices?
Triple them.
Oh, you want to fill up your gas tank?
Yeah, that's gonna cost you an arm and a fucking leg.
Education? Yeah, that one's gonna put you in like
generational debt.
You applied to 100 jobs and you didn't get a single interview? Damn.
That must fucking suck.
I mean, have you ever thought about walking in and handing them your resume in person? Oh, you want to afford groceries?
Yeah. Go and kick some fucking rocks, buddy.
We're trying to maximize shareholder value, not make things more affordable. Did you say war? Yes, please.
Yeah, just in case like anyone was wondering, we actually didn't even get a graduation, so I don't know. We didn't get a graduation.
One of the comments on my videos that said we're doing everything right and we're still falling behind, we're still failing, and that's the part people are finally starting to wake up to, because this isn't about bad decisions anymore. This is about people, it's not about people being irresponsible. It's about the math simply not working the way it used to. And when you break it down, it becomes really obvious why people feel stuck. The average household now needs somewhere in the range of $75,000 to $80,000 just to cover basic living expenses in many parts of Canada. And that's not luxuries. That's, housing, food, transportation, childcare, basics. And yet a huge percentage of people, are either at that level or below it, which means there's no margin, there's no buffer. And when there's no buffer, every unexpected expense becomes a problem, like a car repair, a utility spike, a grocery bill that's higher than expected. And it all adds up. And, at the same time, you have record household debt levels pushing past, $2.5 trillion, which tells you something else. People aren't just cutting back. They're bridging the gap with credit. And that works for a while until it doesn't. And that's where the pressure really starts to build, because now it's not just a matter of making ends meet. It's about managing the cost of trying to make ends meet. And what's frustrating for a lot of people is that they've already made the adjustments they were told to make. They've cut subscriptions, they've reduced spending, they're couponing, they're delayed purchasing. They've done everything that falls under the category of being responsible, and it still feels tight. And that's where the disconnect is happening, because the advice people are getting doesn't match the reality they're living in. And when those two things line up, it creates frustration, not because people don't want to take responsibility, but because they feel like they already are and it's still not enough. And that's why you're seeing more conversations around this, more people speaking up, more people saying this doesn't feel right, because it isn't just an individual issue anymore, okay? It's something broader. It's something structural. And you don't have to look very far to see it. You see it in rising rents. You see it in grocery bills that keep creeping up. You see it in people working full-time and still feeling like they're just holding on. And that's not what most people signed up for when they were building their lives, right? They expected a certain degree of stability. If they worked hard, if they put in the effort and they were responsible, they expected that effort would lead to some level of security. And right now that equation feels off. And when that equation feels off, people start questioning everything. Not, in a dramatic way, but in a very practical way. Like, how do I actually get ahead if this is the baseline now? And that's the question more and more people are asking quietly, consistently, and, with a level of frustration that, quite frankly, is hard to ignore.
Because I know it's all toxic. Any interaction I have, I'm like, oh my God, you just want something from me. The American men don't even get me started. The only thing that's beneficial about America is the opportunities here. You have more opportunities here, but you have to give your soul for those opportunities. You don't experience life or balance, no. You have to give your soul.
So who do you think she's talking about? You got to give your soul. And she's talking about American men are horrible. So that's what this channel's about. We're talking about, basically what's going on in this country, how the grocery and rent prices and what's going on, and why they owe black people reparations for all the stuff I said in the beginning of this, human trafficking us from Africa, making banks and wealth off of banks and wealth and stock markets and institutions off of us, and then giving other white people, only white men's families, money and opportunities. Back then, it was going that the white women couldn't even vote. White women wasn't beating us with whips. You ain't never seen no white woman beat a motherfucker with a whip or hang a man from a tree. Those are all white men. That was their rules under their rules. Just like how you got niggas killing each other today because of white men rules, and you can get away with it, and you kill black men more than white. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, you didn't see white women do weird shit. Yeah, but it's because of they rules though. They made the rules. They set them. They even enforce them and say you got to sell your soul and do what I say for you to enjoy America. So that's just basically what this whole channel is about. They even owe white women reparations for real. If you look at the Salem witch trials, they killed 10 million white women over the course of like 500 years because they was hunting them down as witches and stuff like that. Look up the Salem witch trial. Look up Joan of Arc. That's just some game for some white women right there. But anyways, it's a Follow White America. You're going to see a whole lot of white women and people talking about what's going on. That's the intro to this channel. Peace. This is the one.
America has literally built a system where being poor is more expensive. And nobody talks about how backwards that is. Like, if you're already struggling, everything costs more. A bill you couldn't afford? Well, now you owe more. Miss a payment because you were trying to juggle rent and groceries? Well...
And you want to know why that is because they understand that you'll never be able to catch up 500 years of slavery, no matter who you are. Only a white man in America have that much money. And if you're not a white man in America that they really care about, you know what I mean? You'll end up like this dude.
Yeah, sure, nigga. And I gotta say, as a United States veteran, it's absolutely horrible to see.
Okay? You'll end up like that. So they don't care. You know what I'm saying? So your smartest thing is probably to just move out the country or, show whose side you on. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Shit. If you can't beat them, join them. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You come with some, there that motherfucker go right there. He right there, y'all. Type shit. I mean, you better, you know what I mean? Get on the right side. I don't know. Figure it out. But they don't give a fuck about you. At least show what side you on. Prove it some sort of way. I don't know. Anyways, this is the Follow White America. This is the new channel. And we'll be reacting to channels like this.
How our government is taking care of our veterans. You served our country honorably.